Can you hear me? All right. I like the suit. I wanted to look pretty for everyone. All right. Whenever I'm ready. All right, everyone. I'd like to introduce you guys to Turnout. But first, let's talk about our team. We are 4 sophomores trying to make the college experience a little better for everyone, comprised of Marshall Benjamin, John Erickson, and Dan Knight, and also, of course, myself. But first, I think we should meet freshman Dan. They're so cute at that age. And Dan has been working very hard for 4 years to get to Northwestern, and guess what, guys? He made it. So now what? Well, he has to go, he has to find events, he has to make friends, he has to socialize, which is something that he's very afraid of. So he's going to go out and he's going to search, and most importantly, pray that he's going to be cool someday. So he looks, and he looks, and he looks, and there's nothing. And he gives up. And he's crestfallen. Poor Dan found that there was no way for him to find events. He was too awkward to reach out, and there weren't enough information around campus for him to find flyers. This may seem like a silly problem, but it's not an uncommon one. Out of the 150 students that we surveyed, 87% of them said they felt they were missing events due to a lack of information. This is a huge problem, and it's only exacerbated by the fact that there are over 400 student groups on campus with over 5,000 events per year, and all of that needs to get funneled down to the student body. More importantly, these 2,000 freshmen, or the deer in headlights that have no idea what's going on around them. Now enter Turnout, the solution to end-use information insufficiency and our way to help make Dan a little less awkward. The app that we have made here is we have you go, you sign up, you download, you create your account, you enter your preferences, and then you start browsing based on things that are curated based on your own interests so that it makes it easier to find things that you care about. And I know what you may be thinking, we're just sophomores, there's no way they actually built an app and got it ready. Well, you would be wrong. We are actually currently on the App Store, so you can take out your phones and download it if you'd like. I'm going to keep talking. Thank you. I really didn't think you'd clap, so I put that in there for myself. Okay. So now how we're going to bring it to the freshmen. This is the whole thing. This is everything. This is our go-to-market. We're getting our information from student government. They lord over 200 clubs on campus. They give us all the information for those events, among other clubs that we've reached out to. Then we find the freshmen where they're most vulnerable, Wildcat welcome. This is the first week on campus. We're going to get them. We're going to hit them at dorms. We're going to have our own events. And we're just going to make sure that we're everywhere in the high-traffic areas where Brew Bike will be found. So,
now,
bear with me.
Our operation is small, but there's a lot of potential for aggressive expansion. So
aggressive expansion? All right. Now, priority number 1, guys, we have to conquer Northwestern. That's the big thing. That's the problem we're trying to solve right now. But once we have that done, we can move to other schools in the Chicago area, such as Loyola, DePaul, U of C, UIC. These schools are close by, and they're easier to conquer. And once we have those, we'll be able to move out Midwest and move out to other pockets like New York and Boston with high density of students. The competitive landscape, of course, there are things that we're going to need to overcome. Facebook and word of mouth are the big thing. These are inherently limited because students can only find out what they know from their friends, and their friends might not know a lot. And then there's other apps such as Hoo-La-La, Hangify, and Bump who have had a bad job of spreading and just kind of exist in pockets. And then the worst offender is Northwestern's incumbent solution of Planet Purple and Wildcat Connection. These websites made for students by administrators can be a bit cumbersome, and the biggest problem is that not a lot of students know about them, which is why Turnout is so important to the student body. As a supplement even to those sites, but really it's made for the students, by the students. We want them to get the information that we did not have as freshmen. Now, we have some partnerships to help us along the way. As we said, we have an exclusive deal with ASG, Associated Student Government. We also have a deal with Blacklight right now, which is a company that makes all the events for the bars and other venues. So they'll be giving us their information first. We have a team of 30 and growing freshman ambassadors, incoming freshmen, who will be helping spread the word, but also be a nice first user base. And then we have a partnership with Designation right now to help make our UI a lot slicker over the next 6 weeks. So our timeline and moving forward, we had our big app launch 5 slides ago, and then you guys are right here. And then our plan now is to blitz start during Wildcat Welcome as outlined before. We want our first 1,000 downloads by October 1st. That means people are using it. That's half the freshman class. That means we are solving our problem. And then we will be releasing new features and updates throughout, but more importantly, these will be the designation ones. And we will expand to Loyola and beyond January 23rd. Loyola starts their Greek rush system during January, so that's a good time to hit them. That's when they need to know where things are. And then we will be at every college in Chicago by fall of 2018 because, right, why not? Right. So our ask for you guys. This is shocking, but we have a reason. We need money for marketing, we need merchandise, we need to host events. We need the freshmen to know about us. That's the most important thing. And also we plan to eventually recode natively, which will essentially end up doubling our budget for that. But really, we need you to help us let kids like Dan have their fresh start. So help us turn this Dan, this sad little man, into this Dan with a big old smile on his face. Thank you.
Is this thing on? Is this working?
No, go ahead. Feel free.
How can you guys make sure that when the incoming freshmen show up for the Wildcat Welcome, they have to download this app on their phone? So you don't reach 50%, which is very difficult to do. You reach 100%, and it's just done for you guys.
Sure. So the question is, how are we going to reach 100% of the freshman class versus 50%? And
that's not the question that I asked. I said specifically in Wildcat Welcome, which is in a matter of 2 weeks, tell us why you're going to get people to automatically download, not you trying to get them one by one. You're not going to get them
so
by one.
So why is our app essential, right? Is that hitting it a little better?
I'm just trying to boil it down.
Specifically what I'm asking for is right now you guys put us forth a plan that makes you guys you have to get and reach half the freshman class to do blank. If you guys said half the freshman class need to show up to their dorms, that would still be problematic, and they have to show up there, right? Even that is very difficult. So tell us about whether you guys have any ideas about how you make this part of just being accepted into Northwestern. You just have to have this.
So if I may answer that question, I think I'm projecting a bit, but there's a lot of former student council members coming to Northwestern, and I think the ethos appeal of having a contract with the Associated Student Government of Northwestern was something that will draw freshmen in. For instance, we put one Facebook post in the class of 2020, and we had 30 ambassadors. Imagine now, for instance, that we can say we're partnered with the Student Government of Northwestern and someone who got into Northwestern University. I think that'd be appealing to them, don't you?
Good answer.
Thanks. Got a lot of heart.
All right, let's go to the business model, part 1, 2, and 3.
Trying to make it easy for you.
South Park taught us the importance of a business model.
Select other things.
Could you click to part 1, please? So right now our costs are very low. Sorry, the question was, what's our business model? How do we make money?
There's a mic here.
Is this not working?
No, it works. You just got to speak into it.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Better?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So right now our costs are very low. We're a website, an app. I developed it. It's cheap. If we can get any of these local businesses, there's 23 relevant local venues. If we can get enough money, so project that as we get 7 of them, and they pay us $25 a month for advertising. That's $280 a month. That's more than enough to cover our costs in the short term. Now, go forward. Having already learned how to incorporate a Google Maps JavaScript API, we can use the Stripe API to eventually do ticket sales, which will boost our revenue by, I don't even know how much, because we don't even know how. It's pretty good.
There's a great number.
There's major events like A&O Blowout, Comedy Fest, and that's not even including theater groups, plays, for instance. There's so many things for tickets that are going to be sold. Now move forward. I took a little bit from one of our competitors, Ooh La La. So they charge university subscription services, which is really interesting because that's an awful sales cycle. That's 2 years, so no one wants to touch that. So once we're established from the prior 2 methods, say we charge $50,000 a year. That's fairly reasonable if we're a good app. They projected that there's 60,000 relevant colleges. That's a $3 billion total addressable market, which we can hit.
Essentially, oh boy.
We have the former president.
Yeah.
We do.
Well, I'm a little
Is he a
biased.
judge? I didn't know he was a judge.
What?
Maybe you can give us a little bit of
Is that
feedback. Mr.
Neil,
President, please.
Mr. Sales
I was
Griffin?
I'm a little biased here. But I'm really curious to know, you mentioned you have the deals, right?
Yes.
You have a deal with ASG, you have a deal with, what was it called, Black
Blacklight.
Blacklight.
Yes.
What are these deals, and how do they lead to like this business model being realized?
So the question is, how do our deals actually represent this business model coming to fruition? And I think the answer is first mover advantage. ASG in current methods, for instance, Wildcat Connection, don't know what's going on because they never asked. We're students. We don't have to ask. We know. It's relevant to us. It's pertinent.
And to build off that a bit, the deals themselves are exclusive as of right now. We have exclusive deals with ASG. We have exclusive deals with Blacklight to get that information first before anyone else. And that's the biggest part of the deal, is that we will have that information before anyone. It will be ours. They have to come to us first.
All right.
Thank you, Turnout.